Hey guys, back at it again with another essay video, and today's topic is one close to my heart. I don't talk about it much here, but I actually have a deep love for the Star Wars franchise. Older viewers of my channel may actually remember this from Sector 4 Productions and my failed animated series Republic Rebellion. However, something has never sat quite right with me. In Star Wars, there are a bunch of different neat kinds of aliens that all have unique biological properties and homeworlds. Take the Neti, for example, a bunch of sentient trees that can live up to 4,000 years from the planet Merkur, which is in itself a giant forest, home to not only the Neti, but several other creatures like these lizard things. That's cool, right? Like, that's such a unique concept that is genuinely surprising and wasn't used outside of the Legends timeline. But here's what bothers me. We have these thousands of unique and interesting aliens, all sitting backseat to our own kind, humans. But why? Why use these boring, uninteresting creatures in comparison to sentient tree people or an entire planet of Bigfoots? Well, today I strive to answer this question so that I can finally understand the method to this madness. Chapter 1. Why are humans in Star Wars film-wise? The easiest but also most boring solution to the question is that George Lucas simply didn't have a reason not to use humans in the original trilogy. And you're 100% right. Before all of this Disney expansion and Legends timeline nonsense, George just wanted to make a sci-fi movie about a galaxy being captured and taken over by an evil dictatorship that would eventually be stopped by the heroes. He had a plan to make sequels, of course, but he probably never expected a movie called Star Wars to make him so much money. At the beginning, there were two real reasons why he chose to have human main characters. He and the rest of Lucasfilm didn't really have any other alien ideas yet besides a couple background characters and non-sentient aliens, which is the reason I just discussed. And, two, he wanted the audience to have somebody to relate with. Imagine if people in 1977 walked into the theater for a movie basically nobody knew about besides a couple posters and saw a bunch of weird-looking aliens on the screen that were supposed to be the main characters. And not only did they have to look at them, they had to try to relate to them and be interested in whatever strange stories they embarked on. It was simply easier and a better idea to use humans than risk people not feeling attached to alien main characters and the complex plotline. So, now that you understand why humans are in Star Wars movies, we can get to the real meat and potatoes of this video. The whole reason I wanted to write this script. Chapter 2. Why are humans in Star Wars lore-wise? Oh man, I'm anticipating this just writing the script. This is gonna be fun. So, the big question that I'm really asking here is where do humans fall into place in the history of Star Wars? From what we see in the whole franchise, they don't exactly have a homeworld, instead being spread out across the galaxy from planet to planet. From the sandy dunes of Tatooine to the bustling city of Coruscant, to the jungles of Merkur, and even the snow-crusted soil of Odace or Foston, you can usually find humans doing their best to survive on the strange planets of this galaxy. But how did they get here? If they had a homeworld at one point, they certainly don't anymore. Maybe they were invaded, causing all of them to flee and go into poverty. This could also explain the slave trade on certain planets being nearly entirely humans. According to Wikipedia, their homeworld is Coruscant, but I don't really buy into that considering how diverse of a planet it is. What seems more likely to me is that a huge majority of them settled there after something happened to their actual homeworld, much like the Netties. Kinda strange that these tree people keep coming up in relation to humans. Maybe an idea for a future video? Anyways, Star Wars fans have already come up with several theories, but each of them have a couple flaws. The theory I see most often is what I like to call a galaxy far, far away theory. Basically, it takes the opening tagline of Star Wars, that being a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and connects it to human history. Basically, a very long time ago, some kind of ancient alien species figured out intergalactic travel and went exploring in the Milky Way. While cruising around, they found Earth in around 1 million to 476 AD and took some of the humans with them after learning they were intelligent. From here, they returned home and kept them as pets and slaves until eventually they learned the galactic standard language, as well as the concept of slavery, before overthrowing their owners and spreading out across the galaxy. This theory is nice on paper, and it certainly would explain a lot in regards to aspects of human history, but in action there's a giant flaw with it. This is of course the fact that they had intergalactic travel. It's a little crazy that ancient aliens from 1 million years ago discovered intergalactic travel and then somehow lost it, but I suppose it's not impossible. The second theory is very similar, but is less likely and I see it less often. The nickname I give this one is the tag is a lie theory. This theory states that Star Wars movies themselves aren't depictions of the actual universe, being watched hundreds of years in the future. This would mean the Star Wars timeline actually lines up with our future, where we achieve intergalactic travel and leave Earth behind for brighter pastures. We did in fact find those greener pastures, but not before our ships were captured and we were held prisoner on them. From there we were put into slavery and forced to work for whatever alien races found us first. I do not like this theory. It's boring. There are way too many plot holes that make it unsatisfying. Like, again, the intergalactic travel thing doesn't make any sense. Plus, this would likely cause humans to be a lot less widespread. Now that we have two interpretations of other Star Wars fans' opinions, we can get on to my idea of how our boring old species got onto an exciting new galaxy. Long ago, on some unknown planet, for the sake of convenience we're just going to call it Terra, humans sprung up. They managed to develop spacecraft and began spreading around the galaxy, contacting as many species as they could. Things were peaceful for years, until some kind of a disaster, possibly a war, or as a result of pollution going unchecked for a long time, humans were forced to flee a dying planet. They got as far away as they could, with none of them set on a single planet. Most of them tried to find habitable planets, but the ones who didn't returned into slaves after the species heard what had happened to their planet. Those who weren't caught and turned into slaves rebuilt themselves as best they could on the planets they found themselves on. A majority of the human population flocked to Coruscant, a planet that had since lost the Zell and Tang from its surface. From here, they evolved into the main characters we know and love today. But here's the problem. I'm probably wrong. Chapter 3, Admission of Mistake, Wasting Our Time, and Conclusion. Even if I love Star Wars a lot, I am indeed incorrect about that tangent I just went on. And there's a simple reason for that. There isn't a way to be correct. Until Lucasfilm or Disney confirms some kind of backstory for humanity in the galaxy, we're all simultaneously correct and incorrect, regardless of evidence. It's an interesting mystery, but after diving deep into its depths, one thing becomes apparent to me. And that is that there is no solid answer for why humans are here or where they come from. We can speculate all we want about them evolving from Zells or being imported from our actual galaxy, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because Disney doesn't think it matters. And they kind of have a point. We should be able to just sit down and watch Star Wars movies to enjoy the mindless space wizard action. But here we are. You, the viewer, and me, spending time debating a mystery that in the end doesn't really need to be answered to enjoy this franchise. It's a plot hole, but it's not one big enough to fall into. I've been Cotrix. Hopefully you've been listening, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, Cod here. As you can maybe tell from my voice, I recorded all of this audio just before I got a terrible, terrible cold. It hurts. I'm in agony. However, I didn't let that stop me from finishing this video. Anyways, I'm just cutting in here after editing to say a few things that were going to get their own videos, but were swept under the rug so I could finish this one. First of all, thank you for 90 subscribers. I'm not sure about the current count, but right now I think it's about 96, which is crazy, so thank you. Second, Lab Rats is not canceled, don't worry. It will be slightly delayed because of the next reason. I have joined a multi-animator project, also known as as Captain Underpants, the first epic remake. It should release sometime in 2026, and my scene is almost done. So whenever I finish it, I'll post it on my YouTube channel and restart working on Lab Rats. Anyways, that's all for now. Bye.